So everyone has been through something. And I think that there's like this big divide in our society of people who either use it as like their pain as a crutch to be unkind to other people, or there are people who are like, I went through that, so I don't ever want you to go through that. And then there's some of us that are, then there's like the other part of society that are like, I went through this, so you have to go through it too. And so I think there's a big divide of like whether or not you're going to use the trauma and pain that you have been through as an excuse to be unkind to people, or whether or not you're going to use it as ammo for healing and being kind to yourself and others. And on the flip side of that, I know that it's not fun to go through things, and I also know that I've gone through the dark night of the soul personally. And if you don't know what the dark night of the soul is, I recommend looking into it. It's basically just like a period after a spiritual awakening where you kind of have to go through it. After you wake up, just kind of like going through it and kind of just like tearing apart everything that you used to know and healing from everything and clearing out that karmic debt. And there's going to be like resistance. I mean, at least with me and most people, is that after I went through my spiritual awakening, I ended up being really excited about it and then getting really scared and running away because I was like, okay, now I have to deal with everything that I've been running from for a really long time. And that is what the dark night of the soul is going through everything and either fighting the universe or whether or not or not fighting it anymore. And whenever you're fighting it, you're in that dark night of the soul where it feels like basically the universe is dragging you by your teeth until you are ready to cooperate. And I think a lot of people go through it. I think a lot of people are going through it right now. um, I think there's a lot of us that already went through it years ago, and now we have, woken up and realized that the universe is not against us. The universe is trying to work with us, and kind of moving out of that victim mindset. And that's the whole reason why I'm here, right? Sadly, whenever I was going through that dark night of the soul, I ended up, well, I wasn't sad. Let me explain. I had a very good friend for a very long time who told me that it's okay to be in pain, but it is not okay to push your pain onto other people. And sadly, what ended up happening was I ended up pushing a lot of my pain onto her. And, I still regret it, but it's also the fact that I'm learning to forgive myself because we have parted ways since then and I have grown a lot. And I have apologized to her. And I still send her all the love and healing. I mean, there's no way that I could apologize for everything that we had been through because we had been friends for like 6 years. Um, and now I'm to a point where I have basically used all these experiences that I had with her and in life to be able to heal. And I'm trying to be gracious with myself and I'm trying to be compassionate with myself because I looked back at the time that I was pushing that pain onto her and I realized that I was carrying a lot of pain that was extremely heavy. And I didn't want to deal with it. I did not want to deal with it. I wanted to drink and I wanted to party and I wanted to do drugs and I wanted to get with boys or girls or whatever it may be and not deal with my problems. And so I went through the dark night of the soul and I ended up hurting a lot of people in that process. But now that I'm out of that, now I am here and I am making this podcast so that I can try to help you navigate through your dark night of the soul. And whenever you're ready to learn and be able to actually move on from everything, I'm not like you as in a listener. That's who I'm talking to. Whenever you're able to like stop running from the pain, that's why I'm here because I'm going to be on the other side of that dark night of the soul whenever you stop running. Because a thing is that yes, your story matters, but I want to know who you are now. I don't want to know who you were 10 years ago. I don't want to know who you were, a few months ago. I don't care about who you were in the past. Every day is a day where you can wake up and be rebirthed. And I want you to know that your past does not define you. I don't care about who you were in the past as long as you are learning from the past to be a better person, right? And I think that's a big thing about like grace and compassion, and I think that's basically exactly what Jesus was talking about of like, you have to leave your old life behind so that way you can move forward and live a new life. Because whenever we were in that dark night of the soul and we were dealing with that, we were dead, right? We were dead in spirit. We were not connected to spirit. And a lot of us, I mean, a lot of society still is walking around like zombies. I was just journaling on this. But whenever we're in that dark night of the soul and we're running away from our problems and we're drinking and we're partying and we're doing drugs and whatever it may be and blah, 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 we are like zombies because we're walking around asleep. And that's what it means to be awake. And boom, bam, done. Okay, I need to move on from this. So, yes, as I was saying, you can use that pain from your past and use your story as an excuse to not be kind to people, or use it as an excuse to stay stagnant or stay still, or you can use it as ammo for healing. And that is why I am here to go over this with you. I also don't believe that there are any coincidences. I believe that everything that you have faced and gone through can be used for good.